always share it. Make sure.
Treasure Coast Connector, connecting residents and businesses of the Treasure Coast. And here's your host, Ellen Contreras.
Hi, welcome everybody to this week's episode of Treasure Coast Connector. I'm your host, Ellen Contreras of the Ferris Group. To learn more about them, visit their site at www.ferrisgroup.com. That's PHARUS group.com, or call them directly at 772-223-3344. Treasure Coast Connector is a show that puts the spotlight on local business owners so we can learn all about the why behind what they do and what makes their products and services so unique and special. And today we're going to be talking about legal matters, in particular personal injury, estate planning, and real estate transactions. And joining me to discuss this are Stephen and Jordan Lulich of Lulich Attorneys and Consultants of Sebastian and Vero Beach. So welcome, gentlemen. It's a pleasure to have you here today.
Hi, Ellen. Thanks for having us on.
Thank you, Ellen. I appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely.
Happy to be here.
Well, very good. And what I love to ask everybody when they come on the show is the why behind what they do. So since I have two people here with me, I'm going to start with Stephen first. So Stephen, what made you decide to become an attorney, and what made you decide to open up your own practice?
Well, I was a real estate broker and builder in Naples, Florida. And I used to go to closings, real estate closings. And the attorneys and title agents had a hard time getting the closing statements right.
Ooh.
And I said, I could do this.
And you
because I used to have to correct their closing statements for them. So
wow.
That's what initially got me in the mode to do that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And what was the second part of the question?
Well, yeah, so basically it was, what made you start your own practice? Yes.
That's interesting. Well,
Mm-hmm.
I had a child while I was in law school, and I went to law school on my own ticket, and I went second career. I was about 30 years old.
Okay.
And so when I graduated and passed the bar, I couldn't go work for a law firm because I wouldn't get paid enough.
Yeah, you have a family.
So I started building two houses and opened up my law practice. And so I was able to survive and pay my bills.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, so I'm in the 15% of attorneys that start out on their own without going to work anywhere.
Wow. So you really put it together from nothing.
Well, I was already a bit of an entrepreneur, so.
Yeah. Well, very good. See, that's an interesting why, and everybody does have an interesting why for why they got started in doing what they do. So now the spotlight is on you, Jordan. So what made you decide to follow in your dad's footsteps to become an attorney and then to join the family practice?
I think I would say it's been ingrained in my blood almost, because from a very, very young age, we would sit around and we would have these passionate dinner table conversations. So my dad and I would often engage about history, politics, religion, and they would be heated. I could call it, it's a discussion, but other people would view it as arguments.
Or a debate.
A debate, yeah.
Yes.
But I'd be 5 years old arguing against my dad, and, I would be learning already at that point in time how to argue, how to formulate arguments, how to spot different issues. So by the time I got to law school, it was a breeze for me because I was already thinking like a lawyer before
you were an attorney.
Before
you could legally say you were.
Before I could legally say I was.
Yeah.
So the reason why I went to law school is I really wanted to help someone. I wanted to help people solve their problems, right? I wanted to help contribute to something that is greater than myself. So it's very satisfying for me that I can every day, all day long, help people solve their problems.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. So now let's talk about the different areas of law that you practice. As I mentioned before, personal injury, real estate transactions, and estate planning. So what made you focus, since you started the law firm, what made you focus in on these areas? Obviously, you started out in real estate, but personal injury.
Well, yeah, as a real estate broker and state certified builder, that was just a natural for me to go into real estate. And actually, before some of the money that helped me get through law school was as a result of an auto accident that I was in.
Oh.
And so the economy slowed down. My case came to trial. They gave me an award, okay, and wished me luck because I told them I was going to law school, okay? And so it all started with a personal injury.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's why I do personal injuries, because, you know, I think it's different when you're a person who is an attorney and has been injured. And I think you have a better understanding of what people go through when they're in some sort of slip and fall auto accidents. And so you have a better understanding on how to deal with the issues, and because it's personal to you.
Right. So you have firsthand empathy for people. I mean, we all have empathy when we hear somebody struggling, but you lived it.
Yes.
So, so you understood real estate and what to do, what not to do, and now with the personal injury. So, yeah. And estate planning. So what made you decide?
Well, I guess it probably goes along with real estate. Estate planning is very similar. Okay. And actually, you asked me before, why did I become an attorney? Well, I was a realtor. I was a builder. Okay. And my dad had always told me that I should be an attorney. And he was one of these people that didn't like attorneys or realtors. Okay. You know, but he always told me I should because I like to argue.
Okay.
Okay. Like Jordan had said. And so, you know,
and it's really satisfying because in personal injury, I mean, people would be taken advantage of by these insurance companies if it wasn't for personal injury lawyers. Insurance companies are the largest entities in the United States.
Yeah.
So it's no doubt that they're seasoned negotiators. They're trained. They're educated on how to strong arm
their
people
interest,
to protect their interest, to protect their stockholders, and to strong arm people into settling for amounts that they shouldn't settle for, should be much greater. So when I came along and came into business with my dad, I kind of picked up the part that was essential, and that's litigating personal injury cases.
Okay.
So I'm the person in our team who actually files the lawsuits, and essentially what that shows the insurance companies is that we're not afraid to go to court. That we're willing to take that case all the way through trial, and we're not going to let our clients be bullied by these large entities.
Yeah,
Nice.
and well,
Very
I'd like
good,
to add to that because a lot of cases don't have to be litigated. Okay, some people don't want to litigate; they don't want to go to court. So we handle both of them. But there's one thing for sure Jordan hit on when he started talking about insurance companies. I have a lot of friends who are insurance companies, so this is not meant as a this is self-interest thing, okay?
Right.
Insurance companies have basically two philosophies. One is pay nothing, okay? And the other is if you have to pay as little as you can.
Right.
And only when there's an attorney involved, okay, because of the threat of litigation, whether you litigate or not, okay, can your rights really be represented? And we put together, when we make a demand, okay, a full dossier on the person, everything they've been through, all of the bills, all of the notes, an analysis of all of the medical situation, okay? And you know, we basically provide a book, okay, to the adjuster, okay? And that book is almost like a trial binder. We're ready to go. Here it is. Here are all the facts.
Yeah.
But see, it's interesting because I kind of wear two hats. See, on the one spectrum, fighting these insurance companies and I'm representing these victims of different accidents. But on the other end of the spectrum, I'm a licensed title agent. So we actually provide title insurance to people who are purchasing a home. It's one of the services that we offer. We're an attorney-led title company. So it's very interesting because we work with a lot of different insurance agents. We have nothing against them. But so I kind of see, like you're saying, that I see both hats, and we can put on both hats at the
So
same
you have
time.
a full picture perspective, which is wonderful, and obviously to the benefit of your clients. Here's something else I thought was very interesting. Back in the day, way before you were born, Jordan, doctors made house calls. But I understand that you as attorneys make house calls?
Yeah, we have an entity within Lulich attorneys called Concierge Legal Services.
Ooh, that sounds nice.
Yeah, where we actually make house calls or business calls, and Jordan could tell you a little bit about the real estate end of it, okay? But I've been in many hospitals, okay, doing wills for people. I've come to their homes. When I was a child growing up, I had a doctor, and when I got sick, we didn't go to the doctor. The doctor stopped by the house and saw us. And so I always thought that that was real personal, and we are your local attorneys. We are personal, okay? We like the doctor that doesn't have to see 60 people a day, okay? We can take time with our clients. In fact, we give free legal advice very often, okay? That's our pro bono work. If people will call me up on the phone and ask me questions, and if I can direct them, okay, where there's not something that I need to do for them, but I can give them direction to solve their problem. I mean, you know,
and day by day, we're trying to change the industry, because there's this stereotype, and I'm not going to try to, I'm being transparent here. There's this stereotype that law firms are rigid, right? They have the rules and they have to stick by the rules. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to change the industry day by day by providing house calls. I mean, just the other week, we have real estate closings all the time that are outside the office.
Okay.
So for a builder, we had a real estate closing in a bank because it was more convenient for him.
Nice.
We had another real estate closing in a doctor's office. There was a nurse at a hospital, and we closed the transaction in the hospital lobby. So, you know, our mission here is to try to make it easier for our clients. And starting next month, actually, we're going to start to do digital real estate closings. So it's one step where it's adding more convenience for our clients, where we can break away from the stereotype that law firms are so rigid.
So that's wonderful. And that is something that, thank goodness, I was going to say at the end of the show that you're going to come back again. So we're going to dive into that on the next episode, because that just piqued my interest greatly.
And in reference to house calls, okay, last week I had gone to the hospital because somebody couldn't come to my office, okay? And I also did a personal injury auto accident because the fellow's car was totaled. So he couldn't even get to the office. So we work with people. We like to get involved early so that we can protect people, because if you wait too long, then mistakes could be made and people could take advantage of you.
And you're taking the stress out of it for your clients, which is wonderful.
Exactly. And so, you know, you can ask, what do we do? And we can give you a bunch of different areas. But the bottom line of what we do is we solve problems.
Very nice. I actually say that too, but in a different way. We are having a lot of fun. I have learned so much, you know, already in the few minutes that we've been here, but we have to take a quick break. We have so much more to talk about with Stephen and Jordan Lulich of Lulich Attorneys and Consultants. So please stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Derek Ogden from Word of Mouth Computers and Electronics. Since 2009, my team and I have been providing South Florida and the Treasure Coast with the highest level of service in the technology field. Computers, networks, surveillance systems, web services, Wi-Fi systems, anything you need technology related, we're your guys. Small business technology and consulting is my passion. Whether your business has 1 computer or 100 computers, I will come to your office and give you a custom technology evaluation report, and you won't owe me a dime for it. That's right, a free in-office technology consult, but only for a limited time. For your home or business, all you need is one number for all your technology needs. Call me right now before time runs out at 888-966-7228. Remember, there's no obligation. That number again is 888-966-7228. And ask for me, Derek.
A member of the iTex trading community. Your iTex dollars are welcome.
Sweet Creations presents Sweet Summer Camps for the weeks starting June 3rd, 10th, 17th, 24th, July 15th, 22nd, 29th, and August 5th from 9 to noon or 1 to 4. Your camper will learn to bake pies, cupcakes, sugar cookies, cake pops, even a gnome garden cake to reserve. Call or come by Sweet Creations in the Colonial Plaza on Old Dixie Highway, Vero.
It's time to call Easy Brew Coffee and Bottled Water Service and learn just how much you can save and how convenient it is to have your coffee and bottled water delivered right to your home or office. In addition to water coolers, Easy Brew offers individual bottles of water in 8 or 16-ounce bottles. No more lugging it home or dragging it into the office. Serving the Treasure Coast for over 2 decades, 2 letters, 1 simple name. Easy for Easy Brew. Visit e-zbrew.com or call 800-792-3285. Easy Brew.
Well, welcome back to Treasure Coast Connector. I'm your host, Ellen Contreras of the Ferris Group, and with me is Stephen and Jordan Lulich of Lulich Attorneys and Consultants in Sebastian and Vero Beach. And very quickly, before we dive back into the conversation, tell people how they can connect with you directly.
Well, they can look at our website, www.lulich.com.
Or they could give us a call, 772-589-5500. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and social media as well.
All right, wonderful. So, Jordan, so I have to say very quickly is your son is super smart. I'm sure you already know that. So when we've been networking, what everybody finds so interesting is what you do different than everybody else. When the microphone is passed to you, you give a very quick little story of how you've helped people. What I have seen after is that people come up and it's like, tell me more about that. Tell me more. And so that's brilliant. And what I want you to tell me more about right now is real estate, because this is one area that's very, it's in your wheelhouse, of course. And it's something that is sort of prevalent, I guess, are people that are trying to sell their homes on their own. And that's very tricky. And
very tricky, yes.
Yeah, so let's talk about that and some advice that you have for people that are endeavoring to sell their home on their own.
Sure. Yeah, so let's face it, the real estate market's hot right now. People are buying and selling homes, and a lot of people are trying to go at it without a realtor. You know, I don't blame them. And on this endeavor, it's important because, let's face it, the real estate investment, it's one of the largest purchases someone makes in their lifetime. We're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars. So not too long ago, I had a client call up, and she wanted representation. So we do real estate closings. We offer title insurance, but we also wear our attorney hat, and we just offer buyer-seller representation throughout a transaction.
Nice.
So I explained to her that our flat fee is $500. And I said that we would be happy to look over the contract and advise her throughout and hold her hand throughout the transaction because she didn't have a realtor.
Okay.
So she said, I don't know, $500, that's a lot of money. I said, you know what? Just send me the contract. I'll look over it and I'll get you on your right way and you know, in the right direction. So she sends me the contract. I look over it, and this is all in the same hour. And I noticed that this is a contract that she prepared, and she was selling it to another person who did not have a realtor. And the contract was a mess. There was missing initials. I mean, there were a lot of things were right? I mean, they had an escrow agent, they had the purchase price, they had a signature on the last page, but on the first page, there were no initials. Under the property address, there was no property address. So these people were literally under contract to purchase nothing.
Oh, that's lovely.
So you could imagine, Ellen, our conversation when I called her back.
Thank you so much. Oh my God.
She said, well, let me talk to my husband. I'll give you a call right back. And she said, you're hired.
Yeah.
So that's what we do.
You know, and that's understandable because even people who think they're experts, they're not attorneys, okay? I mean, there's a lot of engineers and doctors who are very well educated and they think that they know the business,
smart people.
Okay? Yeah, but did you really go to school and learn all of the details? No.
Yeah.
And so this is not a matter of anybody can make a mistake, okay? What we do is we cross the T's, dot the I's, okay, and put other stuff in there for your protection.
Yep.
I am sure that, you know, you obviously, because this is something that we wanted to talk about, was to dispel the myth that during a real estate transaction, if an attorney gets involved, it's just going to complicate matters. And that couldn't be further from the truth. So, gentlemen, this is your platform. So let's talk about that and put this misnomer to bed entirely.
Yeah, well, that's, I come from a construction background, which is a production background.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're about production. Okay, my office runs that way. Jordan was trained that way. Okay, we're about production. We're not about wasting time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we for some of our clients, okay, don't even charge attorney's fees. We just charge title fees. Okay, well, how can we do that? Well, because we only get involved in it as attorneys if we need to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
And sometimes
so
it's
we don't have to
necessary.
justify a fee. We
Yeah.
could just take a title fee
Mm-hmm.
if we're not needed for anything but just doing a title
Yeah.
policy. Okay, so we're not going to get caught up in those justifications of our fees. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes there's not even a fee.
Yeah. Well, wonderful.
I mean, our title company and our real estate closings, we're right on par. And a lot of people like this myth that we're dispelling, Ellen.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people think that attorneys and law firms are much more expensive, but if you look at it, we're very competitive. Our prices are competitive with
Yeah.
title companies,
Mm-hmm.
except you have two attorneys looking over you and making sure that all your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed.
Yeah,
Very
and so
good.
for instance, somebody comes in, and they're getting ready to do this purchase, and it's a commercial building, and then all of a sudden they realize, well, they talk to us and they said, well, do you want to buy this in your own name, or do you have a corporation? Well, I don't have a corporation, but I am going to be doing business in there, and so they don't have to go shop anywhere else. It's a one-stop shop. So now we're doing the corporation for them.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, and it's not going to hold up the closing.
Well, yeah, that's great.
So we don't delay closings.
Yeah.
We make them happen quicker.
Very nice. Very
Okay.
nice.
If there's something that goes wrong,
Mm-hmm.
okay, where there's something that's not finished and money has to be put into escrow, title companies cannot write escrow agreements. Okay.
Right. Exactly.
We can. So we're not going to delay the closing. We'll put some money aside to take care of it. We resolve the issues. We're problem solvers. We want this deal to happen.
You're
All the
gonna-
parties want it to happen.
Yes, and you're
okay.
gonna
Now,
do what it
occasionally,
takes. Yeah.
occasionally we get up into a situation where somebody doesn't want it to happen, and they come to us after the fact, and they need to know how to get out of a contract.
Or they
okay?
need to know how to enforce a contract too.
Yeah.
I had a client not too long ago, and for 4 months, there was a delay after delay after delay. Now imagine contracting to buy a house in August, and 4 months go by, and you're still holding on to buy your dream home. Well, this was her, and then she came to us, and then we got involved, and we kind of expedited things and made things happen.
Well, very good. So I am going to refer to my notes because we have a question, and I want to make sure that I get this right, okay? So this question is from Frank in Vero Beach, and he says, I live here, but my family lives out of state. My dad passed away a few years ago. My mom just passed away. A while back, she wrote her own will, but we can't find it. And the sister who lives up north already claimed some of the personal possessions, some of the things Frank said he wanted. And he's also afraid that she could clear out the bank accounts and things. So what does he do? He obviously, with this writing, he feels vulnerable. So we have just a couple of minutes. So let's just.
Okay, yeah, I'll try to get right to the point. First of all, I can't advise anybody on what's going on in another state.
Yes.
Okay, but typically if you don't have a will, state statute controls, and it will say how it will be distributed. If it's just him and his sisters and no other siblings, and his mother was the last to die and she owns everything, then it would go to both of them. Okay, however, if there was an account in her name and in his sister's name, or in his name and his mother's name, then that controls, okay? The fact that there is not a will is not the deciding factor. However, the first one to boot up and put some money with an attorney and become the personal representative will control how the whole deal goes down.
Okay.
So you want control, take it.
Yes.
Go to an attorney, become the personal representative.
So this is a great argument. See how I use that word, argument? This is a great argument for people setting up their estate properly. I think that this is the biggest gift that you could give to your family. But we are almost out of time. And what I want to make sure that we do properly is, yet again, first, I want to say thank you so much for being on the show. We obviously have a lot to talk about. Glad you're going to come back next month. So tell everybody again how they can connect with you directly.
Well, we're in 5 different counties now and expanding, but we are your local attorneys, so you can call us.
Offices Vero Beach, Sebastian, 772-589-5500, and www.lulich.com.
Well, that's wonderful. So thank you again.
Thank you, El.
We're going to be back next week. This was yet another episode of Treasure Coast Connector. I'm your host, Ellen Contreras of the Ferris Group. To learn more about them, go to www.ferrisgroup.com, PHARUSgroup.com, or call them 772-223-3344. This show is so much fun for me. I hope you've learned a lot today, and please come back next week. Thank you.